Shalom. Shalom, Nasrallah. I'm gonna go ahead check the feed real fast. I'm pretty sure. Well, Lord willing, y'all be able to hear me. Pretty sure y'all are.
The feed real fast.
Can
Pretty sure.
all right, bet.
Well, Lord willing, y'all be able to hear.
It's all good. All right, well, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm gonna start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham to the 144,000 as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And as you see in the title, we're gonna get into Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, we're gonna, go pretty much do a breakdown of that. And, Lord willing, y'all be edified, man. Pretty, it's a good chapter to go into. Chapter that you should you learn, know, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna go ahead bring it up on screen. All right, let's do it. It's Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. All right, and you can see with the title, it already says the woman Israel. So the blue letter already pretty much got it right, but we're still gonna get precepts on it, when we read it. All right, it's Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven. And oh yeah, side note, this is John the Revelator. He receiving a vision. Right, this is a vision that John the Revelator received. So like I should have said that in the beginning. But yeah, Revelation 12 and 1 says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon, and under her feet and upon her head was a crown of 12 stars. Right, and the first thing we're gonna get into is the woman. Right, as it says, the woman is Israel. We're gonna pretty much back that up with Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 2. It says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. All right. So the Lord has likened the nation of Israel to a comely and delicate woman. Right. And, we're going to see that word woman or she is going to, within this whole breakdown, and it's going to, we're going to know that's going to be associated with the nation of Israel. Right. And it says, I'm gonna read. It says, and there was a great wonder in heaven, a woman, and we just went into that. It's like I didn't even share the tab. Yeah, a woman, which we just went into that. Jeremiah 6 and 2, right? It says, clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her heads 12 stars. All right, so that sun and that moon is representing the sun, representing the wisdom, and the moon is represents knowledge. All right, Ecclesiastes 8. Let me go ahead and get Ecclesiastes 8, chapter 8, verse 1. It said, who is a wise man? Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. All right, so wisdom maketh a man face to shine like the sun, right? The sun shines. But continuing on, because we're gonna get into the 12 stars, which is gonna go into pretty much what proves that is Joseph's dream. All right. We'll go ahead and get that in Genesis 37. Here it goes. This is Joseph. I said Joseph. Salaki. This is Genesis chapter 37 and verse 9. It says, and he dreamed yet another dream. This is speaking of Joseph, and the title of it, I'm just going to scroll. Joseph's dream. So this is let you know that this is talking about Joseph and his dream. Marie says, and he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Right. So, and this is really just going into the time when Joseph was going to pretty much be, I want pretty much be up there with Pharaoh, right? It's going to come a time, because he goes into it later in the chapters of Genesis, how Joseph pretty much took care of his brothers, the rest of his 11 brothers, and not to stray too far from the point, the 11 stars that it's talking about, It's talking about the nations, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, right? And it said 11 because Joseph was counted as one of them, so that's why he only saw 11. And the sun represented his father, and the moon, what was it? It was his mother in this sense, right? So sun represented wisdom, moon represented knowledge. The 11, the stars, not 11. Well, yeah, the 11 stars. Well, I'm gonna go back. It's like the 12 stars, which is representing the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right. So now we got that covered. Going on to the next verse. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 2. It says, "And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered," because this is during the time of when Israel was under captivity under the Roman Empire, specifically under Herod, man. We're gonna get more into that as we get more into this breakdown. But yeah, man, Israel was under the captivity of the Roman Empire. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. What is it? Matthew 11. Yep. Matthew 11 and 12. Let's do it. All right. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. All right. So the nation of Israel is suffering violence under what? The Roman Empire. In other words, man, they're going through it. They're getting messed up. All right. Going through some heavy sufferings. And we're going to go ahead and jump to Isaiah 66 and verse 7. Well, I'm going to start at verse 7. Yeah. Damn it. Yeah. All right. It says, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. So in other words, before, the nation of Israel started going through the captivity of under Rome, really just being in captivity in general, if you want to be honest, guess what? She brought forth who? That man-child. That man-child is going into Yahushua, right? In other words, saying that it was already predestined for these things to happen. It was predestined that Yahushua is going to come through and be a savior unto the nation of Israel. Well, really starting with the elect first, right? But reading on down, verse 8 says, "Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once?" All right, so it's not going to happen like stupid fast as you can see now. Guess what? We still in captivity, man. Right? We still in captivity. We still behind enemy lines. We still, pretty much in captivity. So it's not going to happen. Oh, just like that. As soon as the pain comes, oh yeah, there goes the Lord right then and there. Nah. We gotta feel the pain. We gotta go through the sufferings. Right, and that's really equating to that Roman Empire, man. How they're travailing in birth, man. That them pains, bro. Well, them birth pains, and obviously I'm not a woman, so I don't know what that feels like. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't feel too good. And it's not going to all happen, within just like that. It takes time. All right. Marie says, "For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to." Verse 9 says, "Shall I bring the birth and not cause to bring forth?" All right, and that's Lord ultimately saying, like, shit, shall I make you shall I put you through all this hell and not deliver you from it? Basically, right? Shall I put this woman in travail and going through all this pain and not bring forth the baby? In other words, that the Lord he sent Yahushua for the nation of Israel, right? Yeah, the Lord, the Most High didn't put us through all this pain, this hell and suffering just to leave us here, right? No, Lord, he gave us Yahushua, right? All right, so it says, "Saith Yahweh, shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, saith thy power." All right, so the Lord, he's gonna make do of his word. He's gonna give us what? That right arm, his right arm, which is Yahushua, right? To deliver us ultimately from this captivity. But in you know, just according to Revelation chapter 12, you know, that like how it's gonna go into how pretty much the man child is gonna be brought forward as Yahweh Shai, you know, later down in the chapter, but we only at verse 2. Because right now it's just talking about, let me go back. Let me go ahead and go back. Revelation 12:2 says, and she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Just going to the sufferings that Jake was going through under the Roman Empire. Simple as that. You know? So they're in the midst of that. Ultimately waiting on Yahweh Shai. We'll go ahead and read verse 3. And now it really pretty much changes up here. Once you get to verse 3. It says the red dragon Satan. All right. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. All right. And that red dragon is going into what? The Roman Empire. Well, you know, shit, in today's term, revival of the Roman Empire, or you can also call it, say, the Greco-Roman Empire, if you would rather that. But you know, this is the revival of the Roman Empire. But in this sense, it's going into ancient Rome. So having 7 heads and 10 horns, all right, and them 7 heads is going into what? The Greeks. The Greeks, the Romans, the French. I always like it. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, French, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor, and British, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah, the Greeks, the Greeks, Romans, French, Spanish, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor, British. Okay, yeah, I thought I was tripping. Them are the 7 right there. Right? And the 10 horses goes into the NATO and EU, right? Because EU, it started off as 6, which is, you know, the vassal states, along with pretty much, well, now will be along with America, you know. But it started off at 6 and it increased up to 10, but it also went up all the way to 12. Well, because you know, you can look at the flag right here. You just type of EU, then European Unions. As you can see right there, there's 12 stars when it's really, you know, this still really, you know, 10. It still represents the 10 horns, in other words. All right. As far as the countries, I mean, we could look into it. We could look at it. You know, I kind of didn't really plan on doing it, but you know, here it goes. Here it goes right here. Ah, damn it, man. That dumb stuff. Dang. Just like it, bro. No, thank you. All right, here it goes. Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia. I can't pronounce some of these words. So like it. Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia. You know, like you really kind of get the point. Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Luxembourg. Yeah, you pretty much get the point, man. Because if you want to, that's part of the 10 horns. But we're gonna go ahead and get into what is it? Revelation 19. 19 and my bad, not 19. I'm tripping. 17 and 9. Let me go ahead and go to that. And give you more backdrop on this. All right, so this is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 9. It says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains, and the 7 mountain goes into governments, aka empires, right? Which is what I just named, right? The Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor, and British. And the eighth horn would pretty much be America, which is where we live in today. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, my bad. It says on which the woman sitteth. All right, my bad. The woman, that's talking about America. Hey man, hey. The 7 heads and 7 mountains, right? The 7 governments, aka 7 empires, and on which the woman sitteth upon, which is America, Babylon that great. That woman that's sitting upon that scarlet colored beast, you know, And I'm pretty sure y'all seen the, if you ever seen the sign of the beast with the 7 heads and that woman with that golden cup in her hand. Hey, that was just like, the visual illustration of what the script is talking about. But going down, verse 10, it says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, right? And the other is not yet come, right? And that that one that is talking about is right now is talking about Rome, right? And the one that is not to come, it was talking about the British. And it says, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right. So it's not going to be long before, guess what? America comes up, which is the 8th, right? We will be the 8th head, technically, aka the woman that sit upon the beast, etc. Verse 11 says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition, right? So, yeah, bro, like that 8th is talking about America. Let me go ahead and get let me see what it says in NLT. I think it said it a little better in NLT. Here it goes. Revelation 17:11. It says the scarlet beast that was but is no longer is the 8th king. He is like the other 7, and he is headed for destruction. America, Babylon the Great, heading for destruction, man. This is the last all be all. 2nd Esdras 6 and 9, man. Right? For Esau's the end of the world and Jacob's the beginning. This is gonna be the last empire that rules before Yahushua kingdom comes, man. But what else? Yeah, that was the point on that. Yeah, that was the point on that. Continuing on, we're going back to Revelations. All right, this is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 4. It says, and the tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. Right, and we got it earlier. How what was in 12 stars? 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Right, and the third part of the stars of heaven. This is talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Right, and it's sprinkled of other nations, but it was predominantly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Right. Continuing on, it says, and did cast them to the earth. Right, really mean, in other words, just beating them down. Right, put some hardcore hell on Jake. Ultimately, it says, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Right, and that right there, that I'm gonna say I'm gonna get it. Now, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. That's that Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2, going into King Herod, man. All right, Herod, talking about that whatchamacallit, basically how King Herod wanted to kill Yahushua. That's what we're gonna get. All right. This is Matthew chapter 2 and verse 1 says, now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? Talking about Yahushua. For we have seen the star in the east and come to worship him. Read, it says, when Herod the king heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And that all Jerusalem with him is talking about pretty much the sellouts of the nation of the nation of Israel. All right, that was there, right? Because you have some Jake that was helping Herod with pretty much keeping Jake fucked up, And by the way, just a side note, Herod was not a Jake. He was an Edomite, right? He was working with the Romans. He was an Edomite. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump down. So obviously Herod, he was troubled by this. And if you know anything about this chapter, it goes into how Herod's gonna set out a decree to, I think it's in this chapter if I'm not mistaken. How's it going? Yeah, it is in this chapter. How he's gonna set out a decree to pretty much kill all the firstborns, the males, right? Just so he could get to Yahushua. Yeah, just so he could get rid of Yahushua. Because man, when he heard that, it troubled him. He was like, "Damn, man, like, shit, like, what you mean, King of the Jews? You don't see me right here?" Troubled, and it troubled the sailors that was with him, right? But jumping down to verse 13, it says, "It's Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord, Yahushua, appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him." Right? Just going back to that Revelation 12 and 4, right? The dragon stood up before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born, right? That's what that's talking about. All right, Herod basically trying to get rid of Yahushua, which he failed miserably, right? He failed miserably. He tried, but man, guess what? The Lord's with Joseph. Yeah, the Lord's with Joseph, man. So guess what? Got that warning from the Lord, and guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. All right, and I probably should have got this first, but I'm gonna get it now. Because that tail just goes into pretty much like where their power is, their strength is. You know, we're gonna get this in Revelations 9, chapter 9 and verse 10. And in this sense, this is talking about World War I. All right, and this is gonna go into pretty much the fighter jets, right? But we're gonna get into the tails portion, which is, you know, it's gonna explain it. This is Revelation chapter 9 verse 10. It says, "And they that had tails like unto scorpions," all right, because on them fighter jets during World War I, when they were flying, that tail was that gunner. It was that gunner that was on the back, and when, you know, it'll fly a certain way, and you know what happened next. It just start shooting. So they use the tail as pretty much as power or the strength, you know, to mess up whoever they planning on messing up. All right, so it says, "And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt them 5 months." All right, and this is really just going into World War I. You know, like I said, the fighter jets, if I'm saying that right, they had the gunner on the back of the plane. That was that scorpion that had that sting. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, y'all get the point, man. All right, but yeah, going back to Revelations 12, and where we at now? Oh yeah, we at verse 5. I'm tripping. All right, here it goes, and it says the title right here. It says the male child Hamashiach. Right? It says, "And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne." All right, so she brought forth that man child. Hey, Isaiah 66, right? In other words, Yahushua, he was born. He was born in his time, and he was not killed. Right? He was born, and a prophecy had to come to pass. Herod tried to stop it, but he couldn't. Right? So she brought forth the child, you know, which is going to Mary, bringing forth the child, Yahushua, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. All right? So we'll go ahead and get Revelations 19. Yeah. Let me look real quick. Yeah, Revelation 19 and 12. All right, this is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 12. It says, "His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no that no man knew but himself." All right, so this is just going into pretty much Yahushua, right? Yahushua, eyes a flame of fire, many crowns upon him head, which goes into them governments, because he finna come when he come back. He finna come take all the crowns off these losers, right? And it had no and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. So in other words, nobody can have his rank. You know, just kind of, you know, just a precept that's going with this Revelation 12, how, hey man, he's gonna rule all the nations with a rod of iron, man. Right? And it's it didn't happen. Obviously, it didn't happen in this time, but Lord willing, no, not Lord willing, it is gonna happen within our lifetime. Just Lord willing, soon. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, matter of fact, and then I could just quote it. So as far as her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne, that's going into how Yahweh is pretty much seated on the right hand side of Yahweh, right? If I'm not mistaken, if you want, well, let me see if I can get it real quick. Let me see. Luke, I think it's in Luke 20. I think. Let me look. Salakia. Luke 20. And is this one? Let me see if I can look real quick. Salakia. And Lord willing, I could get into more breakdowns, I don't really do breakdowns. But Lord willing, I get into more breakdowns and, be edifying, being as edified as possible to y'all, man, Dang, it's not giving me what I want. Not Hebrews. I know it's in Luke. Matter of fact, I think it's Mark. So I think it's Mark. Is it Mark? Yeah, I think it's Mark. I'm tripping. Yep. I found it. Salakia. I found it. It was Mark. All right, this is Mark chapter 16 and verse 19. It says, so then after the Lord has spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand side of the Most High. So Yahweh Shai, he sits on the right hand side of Yahweh, excuse me. Which is, who else is sitting in that position? Nobody but Yahweh Shai. This is a precept you could go to for that. But continuing on, where we at? Verse 6. Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. It says, and the woman fled into the wilderness, right? Which goes into the interiors of Africa, right? But Jake really scattered everywhere, but the bulk of them went into the interiors of Africa, right? And now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. All right. Pastor Ramla put me on this one. So this is from Babylon, Timbuktu. It's a book. And where did I want to start it? Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, a little bit of history. All right, this is page 84 from Babylon, Timbuktu. I don't know. Let me see if it's on it. Yeah, it should be on the screen. Yeah, Timbuktu, top left. And it says, in the year of 65 BC, which is before Hamashiach, before Yahushua, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem, right? So Jerusalem been under the Romans for a little minute. So it says in 70 AD, which is a span of like 136 years, right? 136 is not, don't get confused with the BC and the AD. The BC is before, the anointed, and 70 is Domini, if I'm saying not Dominion, Amini Domini, if I'm saying that right, which is, just after the Lord was born. All right. So in 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter during the period of the military governors of Palestine. Many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. All right. So yeah, that's this is just something you can look at right there, which is prove that like how Jake fled into Africa. Well, the interiors of Africa, specifically like north, I think. Let me check. It's like yeah, North Africa and West Africa. You gotta make sure he's right. So yeah. What else I need? Oh yeah, Revelations. I'm gonna get Revelations. Well, let me go back to this and read it. All right, this is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 6. It says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness," going to the interiors of Africa. We pulled up the Babylon from Babylon Timbuktu, right? Showing you that majority of Jake fled into Africa, but but they still scattered, but majority of them went into Africa, interiors of Africa. Continuing on, it says, "Where she hath a place prepared." Man, where's that place that's prepared? It's going into America. The place is prepared is where we get today, America, of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 days, right? Which is going into that 300. What? No, dang, I'm finna say. I'm trying to say it in a certain order. Okay, it goes into that 42 months, which comes into the 3.5 years, which comes to 350 prophecy years, right? So from the time of pretty much 1619 to late 1969 through 70, around that area, right? When, guess what? The Israel gonna stand back on their feet. We get there in the Revelations 11:11 real quick. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 11 says, "And after 3 days and a half, that 3.5 days, which goes into the 350-year period, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." Well, going to these, these elites, man, they was terrified once they found once we got this truth back. Once we start finding out who we were, started with Abba Bivens, right? Because that's the time Abba Bivens started preaching, 1969, 1970, around that area, right? But from 1619 to 1969, pretty much, that's that 350-year period, right? Now, moving on. Oh, dang, did I even show that? Salakia. Yeah, the scripture I got was Revelation 11:11. Salakia, if I didn't show it. Yeah, I don't think I showed it. It's all right. It's all good. Lord willing, this is all making sense. I'm trying to explain it the best that I can through the power of Spirit Yahweh Shem Shah. Dang it. Ain't tripping. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. So we did 6. All right, so now verse 7. And this is going to jump into something different. It says, "The angel Michael." That's the title. It says Revelations 12, chapter 12. And we have verse 7. It says, "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven." All right. So it's going to come a time where, which is Jacob's trouble, really talking about nowadays, so that's what we bring it out for. Talking about nowadays, there's going to be a time where the Lord's going to have to lift up a standard for his people for, the times we're going to come into. Jacob's trouble. I think that's Daniel 12:1. Let me see. It should be, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and get this. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "And at that time, shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And I'm not sure, yeah. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right. So the only ones that's getting delivered in this time, because this is talking about Jacob's trouble right here. Because that's one thing, you notice within these chapters that it changes. It changes. Like whatchamacallit. I forgot what this song was called right here. Let me see if I can share it. I forgot. I don't know if I can see. I'm gonna try to highlight it. I forgot what that song was called, but usually when you see that, that's marking like that it's changed to a different time period. Usually, it's changed to a different time period. That's why it's kind of jumping from we're talking about the dragon, the Roman Empire, talking about all the way back to 70 AD, and now we were jumping up back into this time. Okay, a future prophecy that's going to come to pass. That's why the apostles and elders, man, they said you can't read this. You can't just read the Bible like it's just some storybook, man, because it jumps a lot. Right? You got to read precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So it might seem like I'm kind of all over the place, but it's not really. It's like this is how it's written within this chapter, right? It jumps. 1 minute we talk, like I said, 1 minute we talking about the dragon, the next we're talking about Michael, defending the nation of Israel. But yeah, so but in this sense, in Revelation 12:7 and 8, just going into how pretty much how Esau's finna come against the nation of Israel, ultimately finna come down with that great wrath, right? And we got in that verse 8, it says, "Prevail not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven." In other words, they're not going to have any way of coming back from this, right? They're not going to have everything they have is going to be destroyed, right? As scriptures goes into how like it's gonna come a time where they're gonna be like, hey, this is the dude that made kingdoms shake. This is the man that ruled the earth. That's what's going to happen to him, right? All right, now reading down, verse 9 says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, right? That old serpent, the one that was all the way in the garden, right? Before he was known as Esau Edom, but as today he is known as Esau Edom. Cain, or you could say Cain. But what I got for that? Oh yeah, let me go ahead and get these precepts for this. Job 9:24. Yep, that's perfect one. All right, this is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Right? So only Esau doing stuff like that, man. All right, as it says right here, verse 9, it says, "And that great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil, deceiver, and Satan, adversary, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." Right? And the angels that in this sense, when it's talking about angels, it's talking about pretty much his power, AI, the planes, his technology, everything he got is going to be casted out with him, right? So he's going to be pretty much a nobody, man, right? And when once it's all said and done, he's going to be a nobody, a loser, right? So if for you Edomites, if you ain't enjoying your kingdom right now, man, you better start. I mean, it's already pretty much too late, but y'all still ruling. Still got a little bit of time, right? So yeah, man, this dude right here, it ain't nobody, man. All right, this dude, Esau Edom, he's finna be shown actually what he is, which is the base of all men. The base of all men shouldn't be ruling. As scriptures goes until I forgot who said it, but it says, "I see servants on horses and princes walking." Just going into how how everything is pretty much just flipped, right? We're royalty, not Esau. Esau don't know what he doing down here, man. You know? All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Where is it at? Yeah, here it goes. This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 7. We're just gonna get into the point of how pretty much he deceived the whole world. All right. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out for out of his prison. Renaissance, rebirth. So that's going into verse 8. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to wait. To battle the number who so like it. Hold on. Oh yeah, now I'm tripping. It's right. My bad, I'm reread it. It says Revelation 20 and 8. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. All right. So as it says, to go out and deceive the nations. That's the first thing he did. That's why we got that Job 9:24, man. All right. He covered the face of the judges. Right. You know, Esau, when he got back into power, once that Renaissance period came around, guess what? He done changed up everything. Yahweh Shah's white, right? You know, he put his holidays in here, land of the free. You know, you just see the nations, man, and the nations. You know, they following after Babylon because guess what? Babylon's in rule, America, Esau, Edom, right? And it's really, you know, Amalek is the one that's running the show. But you know, you got the little low level Edomites, but like, you know, this is still their kingdom. So yeah. What the Slovakia. Hold on. Is my thing good? My thing good? Saying I lost connection. Come on, man. Satan, boy. Saying I lost connection. Okay. Oh, I'm good. All right. Back to it. Where we at? Revelations. All right, now we were at 10. Right. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and kingdom and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accusing of our brethren cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Right. And that's exactly what Esau does, man. You know, he puts Jake in this fucked up situations, right? You know, the guns, the ghettos, which is where the Jews reside. So, you know, they dropping guns off, they dropping the drink there, you know, just so basically niggas can fight. But he don't know that, man, the Lord got him in a trick bag, man. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and get this Habakkuk chapter 2:15. Yeah, 2 and 15. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look at their nakedness. And that's exactly what Esau's doing, man. Right? That's exactly what he's doing, man. He's putting us in this predicament and then going to, you know, go to the Lord about it. Like, see, look at your people, right? But you know, it's already written that you was going to do that kind of stuff, man. Hell, you're as you are, man. You're the devil, man. The physical counterpart of the devil, man. You deceiver, man. Acting like, oh, I'm good, man. But look at your people. Not realizing, like, but who's ruling it though? You are, and you forcing this upon our people's throat, down our people's throats, right? You already done took Jake woman, right? And you know, not to mention curses added on top of that. So that's like, man, a double whammy for us. But it's gonna come a time when, like, hey, when it's all said and done, man, the Lord's gonna bless his people, right? That accuser day and night stuff, all that, you know, quote unquote talking you doing. Hey, look at your people, Lord. Shit, I don't know. Vain, homeboy. But continuing on, verse 11, it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives onto death. All right, and that's talking about the elect. All right, that's only the elect. They're the only ones that's going to hate being in this world, man. You know, they're the only one that's going to hate this place. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and get Revelations. Get Revelations 2. Yeah, Revelation 2:26. All right. It says, hold on. It's like, let me share it. All right, this is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of the potters shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So the only ones that's going to get that with Yahushua is really going to be able to overcome through Yahushua is going to be the elect, right? Judges 5:11, man, right? For they will rehearse in the place of drawing wars, they will rehearse the righteous acts. Ezekiel 9:4, right? You know, set a mark upon them that sigh and cry upon the on abomination is done upon this earth, man. All right. So you know the ones that's gonna have the ones that have this sound doctrine, right, and then, you know, endure all the way until the end is gonna be the ones that's gonna overcome Esau by the blood, will be covered in the blood of Yahushua, right? And it says, and back in Revelation 12:11, I'm just reread 12:11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, right? The elect being covered in the blood of Yahushua because they was being obedient unto him, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. So, you know, they're not gonna, like I said, I quoted Ezekiel 9:4. They're not gonna like being here, man. They're gonna hate being here. They're gonna sigh and cry for this place to go down. They're gonna be hastening to come into Yahweh Bashem Shah, and them are the ones that's gonna be part of your elect, right? The ones that endure to the end with that mindset, though, because you know there's people that was in here for a time saying the same things and going back into the world, you know. But yeah, continuing on, we in verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time." You know, scriptures goes into how the Lord has set bounds that he cannot pass. So, you know, hey man, the demons, they know. They know. Matter of fact, you know, let me just go ahead and get a scripture. Quit being lazy. Cause I really forgot where it was at. That's why I didn't feel like dang it, it's slipping me. Yeah, thou come to torture us before thou time. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that real quick. Matthew 8:29. This is Matthew 8:29. All right, this is Matthew chapter 8 and verse 29. I'm just getting this because, you know, just going into how Esau knows that, you know, that they got a short time. You know, they ain't got they ain't got time to shit really just to take a whole 1,000 more years to do what they got to do. Hell, let alone you already got the elites dying, so you know the least want to see their dream come to pass. This is Matthew, and you know just goes how the demons know. This is Matthew chapter 8 and verse 29. It says, behold, they cried out, saying, what have we to do with thee, Yahushua, thou son of God, of the Most High? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? Which goes to let you know that these demons know that, you know, their time is running up. Okay? The time is running short, and that's why Esau's, you know, moving the way he's moving. You know, Donald Trump signing all these executive orders. You know, they're trying to get this AI stuff going. Before you know it, man, the MOTB gonna be made mandatory, right? But let me go back to Revelation 12 and all right, verse 13, right? And then as you can see, he got the little footnote. going into something different again. I think it did up here earlier. Yeah, it did up here too, but I didn't say nothing. But yeah. And now back into the dragon and the woman and the child, right? Which is the dragon is the Roman Empire, right? And we're living in the revival of the Roman Empire. And the woman, as we got in Jeremiah, which is the nation of Israel, and the child that is talking about in this is what? Yahushua. Just to kind of recap back onto it, back into this, but this is Revelation chapter 12, and we in 13. It says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. All right, just really pretty much going all the way back to Revelations 12 and 2, right? And she being with child, cry, travailing the birth, pain to be delivered. Right? Let me go back. Dang it, I already lost where I was at. 13. Yeah, and the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, and he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. Right? So just going back into that Matthew the 2nd chapter, pretty much how Herod, man, was trying to get rid of Yahushua, right? Trying to do away Yahushua, man. Like, damn, man, I need to find out who this guy that these wise men talking about. And so I need to get rid of him, because that man child being formed, man, Yahushua being born. All right, verse 14. Yeah, verse 14. It says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, and that 2 wings of a great eagle goes into the great escape, pretty much. That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time. And times and half a time, right, from the face of the serpent, right? That times and times, half a time, going to that 350-year period again, right? Being nourished for a time, half a time. Yeah, they have that 350-year period from the face of the serpent. All right, so just basically, it's just pretty much repeating Revelation 12 back in 12 verse 6. Right, that 350-year period, but it just worded different. But that 2 wings of a great eagle is going into the great escape, loud meaning that how Israel fled into the interiors of Africa, and we already got the Babylon of Timbuktu, right? Continuing on, verse 15, it says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. All right, so that's Esau trying to pretty much catch Jake, trying to keep them from fleeing, from them. But it's the next verse is gonna go into it. But let me go ahead and get this precept real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh Shai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. And that's exactly what happened in this time period, man. Right, during the Roman Empire, man, when Jake was fleeing from them. Right. Just the Roman soldiers just trying to get after Jake. And don't get me wrong, they got some of Jake, of course. They got a little bit of Jake, but majority of Jake, they got they made it to the interiors of Africa, as well as sprinkles of them, went into other places. But the big bulk went into the interiors of Africa. Specifically, the third part of it, the third part of stars, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Right. All right. Yeah. Back in Revelation 12 and verse 16, it says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. In other words, that really just going into how they didn't whatchamacallit, Esau wasn't able to get us, pretty much. Right. Just pretty much, what I kind of quoted already in verse 15. how Esau wasn't able to get us. We was able to escape from them and be away for a time, all the way up until, we got brought into America. Verse 17, the last verse, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. Right? So that's really what's going on now. Esau really trying to, really shut us up, get the prophets out of there. How can I get rid of the nation of Israel in general? Trying to cut us off from being a nation, but you can't do nothing against prophecy, man. So, during the time of, 70 AD, that Roman Empire was not an easy empire. But, within this, this chapter, you can see how it kind of, it jumps up here and there, right? It jumps to a point to where, how Michael's going to have to stand up for us, which is going to now, and it goes into, all the way back into the Roman Empire as go back to Roman Empire under the vigorous captivity that, Jake was going through and, was, wanted to be delivered ultimately by Yahushua, which is that child, goes into bringing the birth of Yahushua and how they try to kill him and failed. They gave Joseph a vision to basically, stay in Egypt until Herod pretty much died. If I'm not mistaken, But yeah, man, just, hey, anyways, Lord willing, I was edified, Lord willing, you was able to, through the Spirit, understand what I was saying. And, and it was, music to y'all ears. That's all I can say. But yeah, Lord willing, I do more breakdowns. I don't know what breakdown I'm gonna go into next, but Lord willing, I'll do more breakdowns, to feed the sheep and to better and allow me to be a better teacher, But anyways, yeah, Lord willing, I was edified. I'm in it all by saying Kal Halal, Slakin. Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Badash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharallah.